Hello, Colonial Middle School. Welcome to our presentation. My name is Mr. Price. I'm one of the assistant principals at Plymouth Whitemarsh High School. I'm joined here by one of our counselors, Mrs. Lisa Genovese. We're going to go over course selection today and some other things. Let's take a look at our agenda for the day. We are going to go over the course selection process. We're going to talk about graduation requirements, what it means to select elective choices, what a credit is, how this could all tie into your college and career planning. We know that you're only walking into Plymouth Whitemarsh High School as a ninth grader, and you have tons of time for that. But we're going to start the planning and process now. We will talk about some of the specific electives that you have the option to take here as ninth graders, and then talk about the course selection timeline and what you're going to do next. We are thrilled to be addressing you today, and we can't wait to meet you in person. Without further ado, let me move on to our next slide and start with graduation requirements. So when you arrive at Plymouth Whitemarsh High School, and you already have started talking with your 8th grade teachers about teacher recommendations, they are already making recommendations based on the current courses that you're in and some of what they've seen in the classroom to make recommendations for the core classes, what we call them: English, math, science, social studies, health and phys ed are part of your core classes. And you can see this in the light blue on the screen right now. Our major part of our presentation are the other classes that you will take, that you'll need in order to graduate Plymouth Whitemarsh High School. They are called electives, similar to your unified arts classes at the middle school. And you'll actually have choice in selecting those. So let me move on to the next screen. Mrs. Genovese is going to talk a little bit about that.
So hi, everybody. I'm Ms. Genovese, one of the counselors, and I'm really looking forward to getting to meet you next year. Hopefully the world is going to be back to normal and we'll be back at the high school. Mr. Price was talking about credits, and I want to make sure that you understand what a credit is, because that's not a word you use at the middle school. So at the high school, every time you pass a class, you're going to earn a credit towards graduation. Doesn't matter what your grades are in the class, just that you took the class and passed it. Okay, your grade point average is based on your grades, but the credits are just based on taking the class and passing it. You're going to be taking 40 classes or credits over the next 4 years. You take 10 per year, and you're going to need 38 of those 40 credits to graduate. And we have credits that are required, and which are typically your core courses, like Mr. Price said, which are English, math, science, social studies, and phys ed. And then the others are elective classes, and those you're going to have some choice with. And we want to talk particularly about those today and how to make the choices for those classes. So looking at this screen, it shows the breakdown of electives. So electives are courses that are not graduation requirements. So world language is actually considered an elective class at the high school, although we consider it, a core course like English and math. Technically, it's an elective class. So that would fall into one of those 20 elective credits that you get to take throughout high school. So you need 40 credits to graduate, and about 20 of those, half of those, are going to be your choice as to what you take. Of those 20, 3 of them have to be in a specific area called arts and humanities. And arts and humanities are classes made up from a variety of different departments: art, math, art, English, social studies, music. Those are all arts and humanities. And the counselors at the high school will help you every year to make sure that you have met those 3 requirements for arts and humanities. And again, electives are any class that is not a required course. So the Career and Technical High School, Central Monco Technical High School, all those classes there are considered elective classes. Like I said, world language classes are elective classes. If you take an advanced math class senior year, like AP Calculus, that's technically an elective class. So there are a lot of electives and a lot of choices. And the main thing that we want you to focus on is everybody's individual and unique, and your plans for after high school are all yours, not everybody else's. And we want you to use high school as a way to help you get to that point. So if there's an idea or a career path that you have in mind, we want you to use your elective classes to explore that area. So the last few weeks you have done the career clusters inventory, and you've gone into career pathways and you've selected a career path. So as you're thinking about your electives, I want you to think about that career path or that career interest that you have, and see if we have courses that kind of match up with that. And if we do, then I'm hoping that you'll take advantage of those and explore that career by taking those classes. And in ninth grade, there are a variety of different ones, and we're going to talk about that in a minute. But career pathways, I want to show you here. One of the things that we're going to do in high school is map out your 4 years of classes, again, with the overarching theme of what is it you want to do after high school, and what's the best program for you to take in high school over those 4 years to prepare you for what you want to do afterwards. Pathway Manager also has good information about careers and the job salaries and job outlooks. So although you've used Pathway Manager a little bit in middle school, you're going to use it a lot more at the high school. So the electives that you're going to get to choose in 8th grade are basically broken into 4 categories that you can see in blue on this screen: entrepreneurship, design and innovation, social studies, music and performing arts, and health and science. Again, think about the information that you've gathered from doing that career interest survey, and see if any of the careers that you're interested in have a class that kind of matches with that. And if so, then you might want to explore that. And a good reason for taking these introductory classes in 9th grade is that oftentimes there's a higher level class in that pathway that you can explore. So Mr. Price is going to go over the specific courses within each of these categories.
Thank you, Mrs. Genovese. So while this is the list of all the 9th grade electives, as we just heard, and as you're watching this video, please know that there is also a copy of just the presentation itself here posted as well. And we'll talk about where later on in this presentation that you'll actually be able to go and review, come back to any of the slides that you find confusing or you'd like to review them, and therefore you'll be able to digest it a little bit easier. So let's talk about, here's the list. Let's look at some of the visuals just so you can make some connections and start to think about them. But again, where you will really explore this is in one of the pieces of information we'll be sharing with you, and we're going to find it at the very end, which is the course catalog, which shares all the prerequisites, all the information you'll need to know about what the course actually entails. So if you're thinking about art and design, and we know that you have many of your unified arts classes do fall right in line with some of this and would be an extension. If you like to draw or use your hands, metal or clay, if you like to be involved with photography or videotaping for broadcast, or are interested in creating things in 3D animation, art and design has the electives for you at this time. If you have an interest in designing things in a digital setting first before physically creating them in the real world, whether it be out of wood or metal or plastic fabrication, then you want to follow up with things that are design technology related. Product design, our CAD and architecture classes fall in line with this, as does our honors engineering program. You'll see here that Mr. Muscarella, our teacher for engineering, has listed all the courses in the sequence that are available in engineering. As freshmen, you'd be able to start at Honors Engineering 1, an intro level, where you're, again, designing and building things before testing them in the real world. There's a lot of information on the screen that'll let you review at a later time. One thing you'll notice about this class is it ends with what we call a pre-AP class. And then we'll talk about advanced placement in a moment when we get to computer science, which is right now. Mr. Engel has also listed his entire path for his computer science level classes. And when we talk about computer science in this facet, we're talking about coding in a digital setting, web design and development, again, which ends in this track in an AP class. So advanced placement courses are college level courses approved to be taught at the high school level. They do earn you, a different look on your transcript, something that colleges do favor if you end up recognizing that is something of interest to you. And also, along with many of our courses here, you do have options for dual enrollment. These computer science courses also listed here are dual enrollment classes. And what that means is, we talked about credits earlier. While you're earning credits towards graduation for Plymouth Whitemarsh High School, you can simultaneously earn credits at a college level simply by taking a course here. So more of that information is in the course catalog, and of course teachers will be able to explain that to you a little bit better, as would your counselors. Additionally, in computer science, we have robotics, game design, and also electronics. Let's move on to business. If you are interested in the business world, things like marketing or the legal aspect of what it means in business, or accounting, the course for you and the entry level is Introduction to Business. This is also the entry level to our International Baccalaureate Career Program, which is new at Plymouth Whitemarsh High School. This is its first year, similar to the advanced placement courses, very high level of rigor, and something that, again, colleges might favor. But again, our ultimate goal is for you to really find things that not only interest you, but will develop possibly who and what you want to do later on in life. For social studies, we have sociology, topics in Pennsylvania history, and war and sports, how sports during wartime are connected. And you can see a little graphic there that might give you a little idea what it's about. We also have health and science related. Now, Ms. Genovese mentioned one of our core classes. You will have to take health and phys ed, or fitness 1 rather, which does include a swimming component, but also in addition, there are electives, 2 of them here, bodyworks, which is more of a CrossFit class, and lifeguarding. You must be 15 years of age before you take the class as part of the certification, but something to consider, and also astronomy. Last but not least, again, this was a quick overview of some of the things for our electives that you'll have options to select. If you're currently performing or playing an instrument, taking band course or orchestra or a combination of any of the 3 just mentioned, you might want to continue with those as well. And then in addition to that, which would be new for you, we do have specific classes that do focus on other components of music and performing arts. We have Music Theory 1, Blues and Jazz, the history of rock and roll, reading and reading music, music history, Broadway, and songwriting. Again, before I move on, we know that's a lot of information for you. It's supposed to be a general overview, just to know that these are some of the things available. And again, the course catalog will be there for you to look at a later time. So when you have questions after looking at all this information, we are going to provide a survey where you can actually directly connect with the teachers who are teaching. And we had listed them all on the top of the screens on the previous visual slides, so that when you select something, I really want to know how many classes are in the drawing component of art. You could select art and design, and then type your question in very specifically, and the teachers will get them, and they'll be able to reach out directly to you and or create a fact sheet to answer all those questions specifically about art and design. This is our way to make sure that we cover every little piece and don't leave any stone unturned, so that you, the student, has all the information you need before you make a selection. Ms. Genovese, I'll pass it back to you.
Okay, so again, we know that that's a lot of information, and it's really just to give you a starting point to start thinking about what classes you want to take next year. All of you will be able to take probably 1 elective, maybe 2 if you include your world language. So we want you to think about what's most interesting to you. And again, your future plans are going to change, but one way to help hone in on what you're going to end up choosing is if you can get experience in different areas. So taking classes in a subject area is a good way to find out, oh, I really love that. It's exactly what I thought it was going to be, or, oh no, this isn't at all what I thought it was. And it's better that you learn that in high school. So that's what all your classes are really all about. So we've given you this information, and if you want to go back to it, you're going to go to your Canvas Class of 2025 page, and you will find this video. You will also find a document called the Elective Course Description Sheet. And that's going to have each of the classes that we highlighted and a more in-depth description of the course. Also, as we said, many of these classes lead to other higher level classes. So if you want to see the whole scope and sequence, you can find our whole course catalog on the Colonial School District website under Plymouth Whitemarsh, under counseling, and under course selection. And then additionally, on February 11th, there's going to be our program planning night webinar, where you'll have an opportunity to hear more information about the high school in general, and then to have question and answers with some teachers kind of virtually face-to-face. After you've done all that and kind of researched the classes and made your decisions based on your interests and you know, what you like, then you're going to be asked by your middle school counselors to fill out a Google form where you'll indicate your first choice elective and then an additional 3 or 4 other choices in case we can't give you your first choice when we make the schedule. Additionally, as I said, world language, foreign language is part of the elective category. So you're going to tell us if you would like to take Latin, French, or Spanish. And then, as we alluded to, the swimming component of health and phys ed, you're going to indicate whether or not you are a beginning, intermediate, or advanced swimmer. And then on February 16th, they're going to meet all the counselors. Each of us will be coming to different history classes and walking you through, well, virtually coming to your classes and walking you through the course selection process. You're going to log into PowerSchool that day. You're going to see what your teachers have recommended for your core courses, and then you're going to use that Google form that you filled out and input all your elective choices, and we will walk you through that. So again, we look forward to meeting you face-to-face on February 16th. I have students' last names F through K, so I look forward to meeting you on that day.
Thank you again, Mrs. Genovese. Again, all this information will be posted on the website and on your Canvas page so you can review everything in detail. Without further ado, have a great day, and I also look forward to meeting you all soon.